Joe Fanning is an Americano songwriter who plays a blend of blues, folk, and ballads. He has won 3 times the People's Choice Award given by the Folk Factory in Philadelphia, and he's played at the Philadelphia Folk Festival. Also, he has several songs performed on public television. His travels have taken him around the United States and Canada. Stay tuned. I'll be right back to talk to Joe. Joe Fanning, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Ray.
Thanks for being on the show.
My pleasure.
I'm going to ask you, I gave you a little introduction. I bet you there's some more things you could tell us.
Well, I started writing songs maybe 15, 20 years ago. When I started writing them, it looked like an enormous, simple process. And what I had found out by trial and error was that there was a little bit more to songs than bunching some chords together with words. And I became enthralled with the process of songwriting and really what it meant to myself and what it meant on a performance level. And so what I had trained myself to do is to write songs even if they weren't really good songs. I didn't know them because I was just writing them and taking them to good songwriters. And in the beginning they would just shake their heads and they'd say, yeah, there's words and there's chords there, but we're not sure, really what's going on, but you seem to have the passion for it, so just keep doing it. So I was relentless about doing it and kept going back to the well, and finally one day started on an intellectual level, letting go of the intellect and letting go of the emotions, and had a synergy of putting chords together with words that came to be songs that they would say, oh, well, they're good songs. They're songs. We can play them at an open mic now. So
right.
That's how it happened for me. I discovered it.
Okay. We're going to talk about our songwriting topic today. And I was thinking, like newspaper reporters, they have that, make sure I get them all, the 5 W's, which are who, why, what, when, where. And I was thinking to what extent that may be a method of assessing our songs. I basically think about that, and also, are there certain songs where that would not be appropriate and other songs where it might?
In my opinion, after thinking about it, the only question, because I do also short story writing, which is a very good vehicle for those questions.
Right.
The only question that I have to ask myself is, why am I writing the song? Am I writing this in order to work out something psychological? Am I writing this because it moves me? Am I writing this because there's something that I need to say and express myself? And so when I can usually get at the bottom of that, it usually helps me in order to develop the song. So the important thing to me is, why are you writing the song? If you're writing a song, a love song, which is 15 minutes long and you're saying the same thing,
yeah.
you're probably just working something out therapeutically, and you might want to pay some money and go on the couch for a while. But I found that the process of songwriting is best done when it's in the format of 3 minutes, 10 seconds. Why am I writing it? What am I trying to accomplish? And just trying to hone in the words so that you have some concrete story that at the end of that story, someone can say to themselves, I know how that feels, or I can understand why he's feeling that.
As we're sitting here, I'm thinking, for those 5 W's, after we've written the song, we might want to go through the first one. Who is it? Is it relevant to this song is it something that would have a who in it? If so, do we have it? If not, we don't need it. And go through each one of those.
Yeah.
And we might find some songs that none of it really applies. It's not a story, especially a story song. I think would be very relevant.
Yeah. I think that when I think about the process of songwriting, what you do is on an abstract level, you try to set up different parameters for investigating the words that you're going to use. But in the end, I really do believe that if you're going to write a good song, it's usually like some divinely inspired muse that comes in and kind of takes over. I don't think that John Lennon and Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr and people that were writing songs were looking as analytically as we as songwriters do now. So I think it's more in the earlier crafting of songs. I think it's really important that you get concrete on what it is that you want to talk about.
Absolutely.
But after a while, it just rolls.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to explain our new format. what we're doing from now on is in the old format. The performer did 4 songs. He did one, and later he did another one, and then he did it later. And this time we're going to we want to set up a thing that's more performing oriented, since part of this, half of the show is about performing. So we're going to set up a little, very briefly, a little stage here, so to speak. And Joe's going to do 2 songs. He'll explain what they are. And while we're setting that up, our next show, our feature artist in the studio is a guy named Jesse Terry, who was actually one of my Skype guests. And amongst many other things, he was the grand prize winner of the John Lennon contest.
True.
So he's going to happen to be in Philadelphia, and he's going to come over here. So I have a little clip of one of his songs, and I think it's called Marina is the name of the song. So we're going to listen to that, and then we'll quickly set up our little set here.
Loneliness is where I am. Oh, Marina, why'd you have to go? Why'd you have to go? Amber hair in a photograph, she's trying hard not to laugh.
Well, I was passing through Memphis, Tennessee. I was living in Aspen, Colorado, and I was on my way to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I decided to stop for a night. And due to circumstances beyond my control, I met some people and wound up staying much, much too long. And at the end of this stay, I wrote this song called Memphis, and here it is. I'm sitting here waiting for the sun to go down. Another margarita, another stinking town. My mama told me that there was gonna come a day when all my dreams would up and somehow be washed away. I met her in a crosstown bar in Memphis, and her pretty smile rocked the night away. The next night I was out there with Trixie, or was it Bobby Sue? And I'm not with her, I can't figure out what I'm gonna do. Give me a chance to make it up to you. You know I'm drifting right down into the gutter. One more chance is all I'm really asking of you. 'Cause by the looks of things, you know we're both running out of time. I've been out all night with a couple of go-go girls, but you know it beats going home alone. You know these Memphis girls, they know how to make you feel good, even when they're in your pocket for your last dime. You know the times have passed, and all these pretty go-go girls have put on a little weight, and they got these wrinkles in their smiles. But I ask myself this question each and every day: whatever happened to the Memphis girl with that pretty smile? Gave me a chance to make it up to her, and you know I stopped drifting down into the gutter. One more chance and then she finally came around. And by the looks of things, you know we're both doing fine. Song about Memphis. I also was passing through Tennessee one time, and when I got to Nashville, I started hanging out in the streets of Nashville. There must be 1,000 songwriters, all of them good, all of them trying to become famous, all of them doing the same thing, just trying to get their music out there and try to have some fun. And I got talking to a guy who we hung out with for a night, and he told me his little story about how he got to Nashville and what happened and this and that. So I decided to do a little tributary song to this guy. So this is maybe in the vein of a gospel song, and it goes something like this. Daddy is a coal miner. My mama used to teach at the Bible school. At 17 I rolled the dice and I moved to Nashville. I washed dishes in a country club, played the honky-tonks all night. Thought about going home, but I said, man, that just wouldn't be right. Never knew I could feel so all alone, yet so alive. Don't wanna be no coal miner, I wanna be a star. Met Marcy May in a laundromat, we got married on the second date. She reminded me to play from my heart. She said fame is all about fate. Got close to signing a record deal. I was almost living the dream, but I was up all night chasing promises, and in the end I wanted to scream. Never knew I could feel so much love. I'm so alive. Sold my guitar, got work in the mine, had a son who learned how to play. Me and Daddy go to hear him every Friday night. The boy's way better than okay. One day I heard him on the radio singing a song I wrote long ago. My boy was at the Grand Ole Opry. Yeah, he's a country star, don't you know? Never knew I could feel so much pride. I'm so alive. Me, I'm just an old coal miner. My boy's a country star. And me, I'm just an old coal miner, but my boy's a country star.
What you saw there was a little promotion of a tutorial training series that I'm doing on how to promote your music using video on the internet. So hopefully you might check that out. Okay, now we're into our performing topic. And I suppose everyone, to a certain extent, has some anxiety when they're ready to go on stage. Anywhere from just butterflies, which is usually not a bad idea, right, all the way to stage fright. So I wanted to ask you if you've ever had to deal with that, and if so, how have you dealt with that?
Before I went on stage, I was so terrified to do it that I used to go to open mics and ask people how you get up on stage and how do you get the gazunts to get up there. Mm-hmm. And they would always say the same thing. At some point, it's like the dance of fire. You just have to get up and do it. I was so afraid to do it that I took a fellow musician, Ray Duffy, mm-hmm, who memorized both of my songs and promised me that if I got a little bit freaked out in the middle of the performance, I didn't have to worry about it because he would sing the song. And that gave me the confidence. But I want to tell you that I had anxiety big time. I have done public speaking. I've taught school. But no dynamic is like the dynamic of taking your own songs, which are personal, and putting them out there. Because what you want is adulation, but what you're afraid of is rejection. So I think that's a never-ending thing. After about 3-4 moments and periods of that anxiety, that kind of went away. I noticed that before every performance, I get a little nervous. And I think that's really a good thing. Because I think what it does is it emotionally charges you to have the ability to be in the moment so that you can optimize and give your best performance. Mm-hmm. If it becomes just a lackadaisical going up and you know your song so well, I think that you lose kind of the edge. Because I think ultimately, you know your songs, you're performing them for an audience. I found for me that the more people in the audience, the better it is for me.
Me too.
Yeah, the more people in the audience, it works like if there's 4 people in the audience, I'm afraid of losing any of them. Mm-hmm. When there's 100 people or 200 people in an audience, which I've been blessed to be able to do, what you can do is kind of work the audience, go around, see who's in, see who's out. I think the important things about performing is that if you're doing a set of songs and you got your songs there and you're losing the audience for some reason, you might just want to flip into some different songs. Mm-hmm. But the thrill of seeing people enjoy your songs gives you an energy and then in turn charges you up to give it back to them. There's no thrill like it.
Yeah, I'm the same way, so I know exactly what you mean. I'm going to have you do your next 2 songs.
Okay.
But we have to set this up again. So I have another clip for our Skype guest next time. And that is Laura Joy. She's been, I'm going to read this from her website. It says, Laura Joy has been known to quell dark, angry bars full of ornery old Irishmen with her brand of acoustic pop. She performs in the Midwest a lot, but also she's performed in other areas of the U.S. So while we set this up, we'll take a look at this clip.
Paint me a picture of beauty, bliss, sunflowers and garlands, Pulaski, moonlit. Do the best with what you got. You think it's not perfect, but it is. Back it up, back it up, back it up. You're way too close. Can you see the big picture when you're moving so slow? And all these actions, oh my, oh, step by step it takes a while. Oh yeah, step by step it takes a while.
Well, everybody out there loves the Facebook. Everybody likes going on the Facebook, and they have a lot of Facebook friends and this and that. And people now say to you, like, if you want to communicate with me, you got to communicate on the Facebook. Well, I wrote a song about the Facebook, which is kind of an ironic song, which I think every songwriter should write a little bit about the funny side of life and the irony. So here's my Facebook song, Given to You. My friends are all on the Facebook. They never use the phone. The only time they be calling me up is when they're in trouble, my brother, and they need me to make them alone. They want me to be their Facebook friend, and that's something I ain't never gonna do. I only want to have a conversation, but the walls they put up won't let me through. Please be my Facebook friend, here's my invitation to you. But if it doesn't work out, my brother, you can always friend somebody new. When I finally joined the Facebook to find out that my girlfriend been sleeping with Billy Bob. Although we're all good Facebook friends, man, late at night, I feel like I've been robbed. In times she thought it peculiar that I really didn't care. But what she hadn't figured out yet, I was sleeping with her Facebook friend, Larry Clare. We all moved in together. I guess this Facebook thing is alright. We did away with that monogamy, you know, the one-on-one thing. It wasn't feeling very right. Eventually we got on each other's nerves, and I quit the Facebook that day. Went back to my old apartment. People, I hooked up my cell phone. I was living my old way. Please be my Facebook friend, here's my invitation to you. But if it doesn't work out, you can always friend somebody new. My friends eventually got kicked out of Facebook. Seems they were getting nasty online. Too many friends and not enough love. This kind of crazy thing happening too much all the time. Well, they finally closed down the Facebook when they found out that the president had 70 million friends. He couldn't do his presidential thing, and the Congress said, hey, Mark Zuckerberg, hey, people on Facebook, hey, everyone in the United States, it's time for the whole thing to end. Go ahead, Facebook. Now, every songwriter should have himself a love song. And it shouldn't be the kind of love song that breaks the woman's heart and that there's no love at the end. It should be something that makes everybody feel good. So this is my love song for the ages. Winter snow started melting. Spring was coming, you had decided to go. And all my friends said, hey, just be patient. They never knew the wonders of you. And if they did, they'd be in love too. I hang on day by day. In the end, things always seem to turn out the way they're supposed to. You know, the flowers will soon be blooming. We planted them several years ago. I will witness them all by myself. If you were here, it would feel a lot like Christmas. Instead, every day
It feels like Halloween, and I hang on day by day. In the end, things always seem to turn out the way they're supposed to. Stars in the sky are brightly shining. The winter wind has cooled me down. I stare at the moon and I think all about you. Then you drive up with your suitcases full of dreams. If city life wasn't what you thought, so it seems, and I hang on day by day. In the end, things turn out the way they're supposed to.
Okay, that slide you just looked at was every time I'm going to do something about resources for songwriters. So, Joe, before we go, I wanted to ask you if people want to contact you or learn about you, what's the best way to do that?
The best way to do that is just to go on YouTube. There's comments for all my songs. If you just go Joe Fanning, Philadelphia Songwriter, there's a lot of things that'll pop up.
Mm-hmm.
You can do the same thing on Channel 35 Public TV.
Okay.
They have many, 4 or 5 of my videos with music. That would be the best way to contact.
Okay. And if they want to find out how you're playing, you got to work on that, don't you?
I do have to work on that. I have been probably the most reluctant person on the planet to take advantage of the technology, and I don't know what that's about. It's something which doesn't add to bringing fans in. But I usually seem to get a pretty good fan base just by word of mouth.
Word of mouth, yeah. Okay. I just want to mention one more time our Skype, I should say our next show. Again, it's Jesse Terry will be in the studio, and Laura Joy from Laura Joy from the Chicago area will be here via Skype.
All right.
Okay. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks for having me, Ray. Appreciate it.
Okay, for coming in.
Okay.
We'll see you in a couple weeks.